Yes, what's going on? Kingdom of Boxing, let me try this out, see if you can hear me. So let's have a look at Vasily Lomachenko versus Billy Joe Saunders. Who is the true pound for pound number one? And let's just go through the box rec. And first of all, just look at this guy, man. You know, man's a meerkat. And look at his record, 11-1. What has boxing come to? How is this guy pound for pound number one with 11 wins and 1 loss? The guy's been pro for 5 years. 5 years. The guy hasn't even been pro long, 4 or 5 years. The guy's 30 years old already. He's only had 12 fights. He lost 1. And let's see his resume. Let's see who he's for. Joris Ramirez. Not really anybody special that I know. Orlando Salito beat him. He was an old man who was 41-12 at the time. A guy who was 41-12 at the time beat this guy. And this guy's pound for pound number one. How the fuck is this guy pound for pound number one when he lost to a 38-year-old? I think he was 38 at the time. The guy's been knocked out 6 times. He's got 4 draws. He's got 14 losses now. Wow. This guy beat so-called pound for pound number one. In my book, if you're getting a loss in your record to somebody like this, you cannot be a pound for pound number one. Not until you at least, there's a lot you have to do to try and bring yourself back up, because at the end of the day, there's no excuse for taking a loss to somebody like Orlando Salito. You was in your prime, you was 29 years old when you fought him, or 28. You was in your prime, you've had all them amateur fights, and you come and you lost to an old man. There's no excuse. So they fought Gary Russell Jr. and Gary Russell Jr. was undefeated, but we don't really know how good Gary Russell Jr. was or is. We know he's had a few good wins since, but he hasn't really fought anybody, you know. Then I don't know. Oh yeah, that Takashiki guy, that Chinese guy. We didn't know how good he was. We don't know who he is. Some foreign guy from China, you know. Who's that? Boom, boom. Martinez. You know, he lost to Ricky Burns, who's a bum. Lost to Ricky Burns. Draw with Carlos, lost to Mikey Garcia, draw with Orlando Salito, then lost to Lomachenko. Then he's retired. He hasn't even fought since 2016. His last fight, he was on the way out. It's not a great win. Nicholas Walters, we didn't know how good he was either. You know, he hadn't fought anybody. Who did he fight? Look, he hasn't even fought since Lomachenko fight, and before that, he got a fucking draw with Jason Sosa, which isn't a great thing. This is not good, you know. Before that, he did beat Miguel Marito, who's an undefeated fighter, and Nonito Donaire, which is a very good win. I give him that. That's a decent. But Nicholas Walters, still, you know, it's like he hasn't fought since the Lomachenko fight. It's like he lost passion for that fucking fight or something. Then Jason Sosa, I would say it's a so-so, you know, fight. And then Riggindale, who's 2 weight divisions below Lomachenko. So that's like Canelo beating Amir Khan, or it's like Triple G beating Kell Brook. It's not really anything you can brag about, you know. And even Lomachenko said himself, it's nothing really to brag about. And then Linares, which was a decent win. Linares on his way out. I don't think he'll fight again either. You know, he's lost 4 times. He's probably the best name on his record, but he was on his way out. He fucking went 12 rounds with Crawler, then 12 rounds again with Crawler, then 12 rounds, split decision with Luke Campbell, could have lost that fight, then another 12 rounds with Jester, or whatever his name is, who's not really any go special. Then he gets stopped in the 10th round by Loma. So, this is a decent record, you know, but this is okay record, it's good record, but he's not put enough body of work. There's not, look, this is it, enough work in this record. You need to have win. We need to get these wins. You need to keep moving the way you're moving the right way. But he's not nowhere near pound for pound number 1. He's not even pound for pound number 10. He's probably pound for pound number 20, if you're being honest. Now let's have a quick look at so this is the guy we're going against. I'm sorry, but this is not a pound for pound fucking resume. This is a joke. Whoever's fucking trying to feed you pound for pound number 1, listen, it's a desperate attempt for fanboys just to try and push it. It's just what Bob Arum does. All Bob Arum's fighters are pound for pound number 1. Also, Terence Crawford, Bob Arum goes, oh yeah, he's pound for pound number 1. HBO said pound for pound number 1, so everybody starts running around saying it. Then HBO says, oh, Lomachenko is pound for pound number 1. Bob Arum says pound for pound number 1, and everybody runs around saying pound for pound number 1. It's bullshit. End of the day, how's he pound for pound number 1 when we've got people like this, who's 26-0, who also, by the way, Lomachenko got dropped by Linares, which means that damages your pound for pound resume as well. Not only taking a loss damages your pound for pound resume, but also getting dropped damages your pound for pound resume. Especially within 12 fights, you've been dropped and you've lost a fight. And we've got a guy here, and that's within 5 years of being pro, who's been pro since 9 years. He's been pro nearly 10 years, and he's only still 28 years old. And he's been to the amateurs, he's done all that as well, not just Lomachenko. And he's had 26 fights. He's not lost one single fight. 12 by knockout, and 12 by knockout, and he's never been dropped. Not like Lomachenko, who's been dropped, and that damages your record. He's never lost. Like Lomachenko's lost, and that damages your record. That puts you down 10, 12, 13, 14 slots below people that are undefeated. Especially a guy who's been pro more than twice as long as you, who's still not took a loss and still not touched the canvas. And not only that, look at his resume. Look at who he's beat. Okay, Nick Blackwell, who was 12-1. That's a good record, good fighter. He was a very tough fighter. Straight after Matthew Hall, Gary O'Sullivan. That's a good fighter. He was undefeated. Now he's 28-2, and he's in America, and he's knocking out all these guys. Look at Billy Joe Saunders. Look at the body of work he did. Win, he beat a lot of good guys until he met Chris Eubank Jr. He lost to Chris Eubank Jr. and then he's gone on a mad winning spree again. He's won like 6-7 fights. In America, he knocked out Antonio Douglas, who was a good fighter. So that's Gary O'Sullivan, who's gone on to do good things. John Ryder, straight after a 16-0, he beat another undefeated fighter who's 15-0. John Ryder, let's see what John Ryder went on to do. He's 26-4, only one loss. He's lost a few fights, but you know, this is early on Billy Joe Saunders' career. But his last fight he beat Jamie Cox. Anybody remembers Jamie Cox from the Super 6 series? That's his last win, and he knocked him out in 2 rounds, better than George Groves did, who's at fucking super middleweight. These guys are bigger than Billy Joe Saunders. Billy Joe Saunders at middleweight. These guys are fighting at super middleweight now. Yeah? So remember that. He's not bringing guys up that are smaller. He's fighting guys at least his size, or if not bigger. So after John Ryder, another undefeated fighter He was 22-0. My man, he's lost 3 now after Billy Joe Saunders, but this guy looks like a tough guy. Lost his last fight. But I'm not really bragging about this, you know, it's nothing to brag about. It's like, just like one of them guys. Then another undefeated fighter. This is like 5 or 6 undefeated fighters in a row, my G. And I'm talking about Chris Eubank Jr., who is a fucking solid prospect, who would knock out anybody in most of these guys' resumes. Who's only other loss to George Rhodes recently, but who has beat Arthur Abraham, Reynold Quinnen, Nick Blackwell, Gary O'Sullivan, Dmitry Childanov. You know, a lot of fucking good wins on his record, decent wins. But Chris Eubank is a solid win, especially undefeated Chris Eubank. After that, he beat a bum. Then he went on to win his world title off Andy Lee. This guy done it the hard way. Andy Lee, a solid fighter, former world champion. We've got a draw with Peter Quillin. Lost to Billy Joe Saunders. He's come back with another win. He should be back at it. He's back recently, I think. After that, Arthur Akrov, he was a solid fighter. He's actually gone on to do some big things since the Billy Joe Saunders loss, if I'm correct. Yeah, after Billy Joe Saunders lost, he beat Gonzalez Correa, Carlos Pedra, something like that. He's doing well in America. And then he beat Willie Monroe, whose only other loss was to fucking Golovkin, who could be another pound for pound. And then straight after that, he went to fucking Canada and beat the powerful fucking David Lemieux, whose only loss was to, I think he lost early in his career, and then he lost to, what's his name, Golovkin. He was 33-0 in his prime. Knocked out Glenn Tippier in 4 rounds. That's a big win. Knocked out Curtis Stevens in 3 rounds. That's a big win. Come up against Billy Joe Saunders, got his ass whooped. See, this is what a pound for pound resume should look like. Solid, clean, you put up how many fucking undefeated fighters Billy Joe Saunders fought, and how many undefeated fighters this guy's fought. Let's have a look. 1, 2, 3. It's 3 undefeated fighters, while Billy Joe Saunders fought double the amount of undefeated fighters. Billy Joe Saunders is 2 years younger than Lomachenko. Billy Joe Saunders has been pro twice as long as Lomachenko. Billy Joe Saunders has never ever touched the canvas Lomachenko has. Billy Joe Saunders has never tasted defeat. Lomachenko has. Billy Joe Saunders has a cleaner resume than Lomachenko. And Billy Joe Saunders has more than twice as many fights as Lomachenko. Look, there's no fucking debate, man. Kingdom of Boxing, man. Pound for pound, #1, Billy Joe Saunders all day. Come and give me a better resume than this, you know, and then we can talk. Peace.